Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? I hope you are amazing. Alright, previously, let me introduce myself. I am Nur Intan Putri Ayuni with student ID 20030500001, and I'm one of student at Maritim Raja Ali Haji University. Alright, today I will explain my presentation. It's about EFL learners, learning styles, and their attributes. Directed by Lu Trong Tuan from National University of Ho Chi Minh City. And I have divided my presentation is about 5 main parts. The first, I will explain the introduction of this research, and the next I will show you the literature review of this research, and then I will explain about the research methodology of this study. And the fourth, I will show you the findings and discussion of this research and this study. And the last, I will show you and explain you about the conclusion of this research. And my presentation should only last for 10 minutes. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me. Alright, first of all, I would like to add introduction of this research. The most important research endeavor and educational improvement in recent years is the shift from the emphasis of the language teaching methodology to language learners and variables that influence language learning. In other words, in Vietnam, the field of perceptual learning styles preferences in language learning has been ignored in the learning process. The majority of the teachers are unaware of their student learning styles. They are also unaware of the importance of identify learning styles. Thus, there is a need to assess the learning styles to these students as well as other relevant variables such as gender, age, language, experience, or English proficiency to accommodate different learners. The study aims to explore students' perceptual learning style preferences as well as whether any linkages between language learning styles and such variables as field of study, study length, gender, age, language learning experience, and English proficiency level subsist. Alright, now the literature review of this research. The first is definition of learning styles. A number of definitions for the term learning styles can be found in the literature. In the earlier days of this type of research, the term cognitive style was used rather than learning style, Swesson. And the second is about framework for learning style categorization. Divides learning styles into the three major categories: cognitive learning styles, sensory learning styles, and personality learning styles. And then about cognitive learning styles. Field independent versus field dependent. According to Svensson, one model that has greatly impacted the field of learning style is Hermann Wittgen's construct of field dependence and field independence, which measures the extent to which a person is influenced by a surrounding field. And then is analytic versus global. Relevant to the learning styles dimension of sensory strength is that of global analytic thinking. And then is about reflective versus impulsive. Reflective learners learn more effectively when they have time to consider options before responding, whereas impulsive learners are able to respond immediately and take risks. And then is about personality learning styles, extrovert versus introvert. Alright, now let's move on to the research methodology of this research. The first is about participant. The participants varied greatly in terms of their learning experience. The mean years of learning experience was 8.8 61 with a standard deviation for 4.07 from the mean. The second is about instrument. The instrument used in this study was a questionnaire, the most common method of collecting survey data. The best 2001. Alright everyone, the next point I would like to make are research findings and discussion of this research. The first is about the overall learning styles preference of EFL students. Furthermore, it is well on that the EFL students considered kinesthetic 48%, auditory 46.9%, and group 45.9% as their frequently used learning styles. The second is about learning style preferences and fields of the study. It was assumed that the result would become a powerful indicator to understand learning styles of EFL students in an effective view. And the third is about learning style preferences and length of the theory study. Statistical analysis of this variable generally were consistent with analysis of the first variable fields of study. And fourth is about learning style preferences and gender, doing the language learning tasks connected with problem solving. Male students and female ones show clear differences in their approaches to learning tasks. The right 2000. And the next and as a last of the findings and discussion, this research is about learning style preferences and ages. Children tend to prefer to work with peers instead of working alone and prefer an authoritative versus a collegial teacher. Alright everyone, finally we move to the last point is conclusion of this research. Alright, the result of the analysis and discussion indicated existed some significant relationships between students' learning styles, preferences, and such variable as fields of study, lengths of their theory study, gender, age, learning language experience, and English proficiency level. It is suggested that teachers should combine multiple learning styles together to make lessons more vivid and interesting. For instance, before asking students to discuss in groups, teachers can let them study alone to figure out the answer. Or before organizing some games or auditory activities, teachers can give visual instructions or visual aids. And to help learners learn better when being assigned activities that don't match their learner's type, the teachers need to make clear the objective of each learning task, especially those with which learners of some learner types are unfamiliar. Alright, okay, that's all my conclusion. If you have a question, please comment this video. Alright, that's all I have to say about EFL learners, learning styles, and their attributes rated by Lu Trong Tuan from National University of Ho Chi Minh City. That's all the time I have for today. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.